Hey everybody, Carl here, and I wanted to show you what's going on. First of all, I got my capacitors in, and so I'm gonna be able to start on the on the C3, the Heath kit. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do that tonight. Uh, it's already kind of late. And I was just kind of go over some stuff in here and trying to get things ready because I want to kind of have my bench kind of together when I start working on that, clearing more stuff off. I mean, you guys know how that is. So one of the things I am going to do tomorrow before I work on this is my big old red Lincoln. Somewhere there's a short somewhere because it's draining my battery, and it's driving me nuts. So I went out today. First of all, I got to put a new ignition switch on the cylinder lock, the ignition cylinder lock, and my ear would not have the hole underneath like all the other ones where what you do is you put the key in the run position, and then you push a probe or something up through this hole in the bottom of the steering column, and it goes into the lock, and you can just pull the lock right out. Ford was really good for that. If you've ever worked on GMs, that's a whole other story. That's like a nightmare. But for most Fords, they're easy. But mine, had to be that 1 year where we can't put a hole down there for this year. We got to let those guys work for it. So I drilled the hole, and then I went out and I got me a new cylinder. So I'm going to put that in first tomorrow. But if you guys have ever had to chase down a short in a car, well, if you've had to do it, you probably know this. For you that may have to do it in the future, you may ask, well, where do you start? Well, what you do is you take and you disconnect the battery, and you run your meter. You put it on amperage, and you run it from like the positive cable of your car to the battery. And when you do that, you put it on amps. Now I'm going to use I have an analog that I'm going to use, because it's easier to watch the needle do this, the numbers, So, but what happens is you set it there, and it'll be drawn X amount of amps. Okay, and you don't have to run it, but you just put it in the on position, and actually you could even leave it off. It doesn't matter, because it's pulling amps. And what you do is you hook it up. Let your car sit for about a couple of minutes. Excuse me. Then you go out and you see where the meter's at, or have a buddy watching for you. And then you go inside and you start pulling the fuses. You pull one fuse, and if the meter doesn't move, okay, it's not that one. Pull the next one, and keep pulling those fuses until all of a sudden that meter will drop. And then once you do that, you look up, okay, what is that fuse for? It might be for the lights, where the door switches, that when you open up your door, the lights come on. Maybe one of those somewhere the wire is shorted. But if you usually can look up your fuse box, and it'll tell you which ones go for what, and that's how you tell. Then at least you've narrowed it down to a point where you don't have to check the whole car. You don't have to go through all these harnesses. You have a certain area with certain things that you can check, and usually you can dial it in. So that's where I'm at. I'll be doing some of that tomorrow, and then later on, like I said, I'd like to get this my capacitor tester together, and I think this is going to do it. I think we'll have a working instrument again once I put those in. But okay, so that's I just want to do a quick one, and once I start working on the caps, I will definitely put the caps in and working on the tester. I'll definitely start be shooting that, and I can bring that to you too. So until then, everybody have a great night, and I'll see you real soon. Take care.